Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer. I'm a family medicine and community health physician who is the founder of Health, Wellness, and Weight Loss Centers, which is a telemedicine coaching service that helps people maximize their health and wellness through weight loss if that's what's needed. I started this because I myself had lost 60 pounds, helped reverse many of the medical conditions that I was suffering from at the time. And so I realized I have my medical background, I have my personal experience, and so I've combined them to create something that can help other people. What I'd like to talk about today is just some quick tips on how to counter some of the pandemic pounds, as I've call it. Many of us have gained weight just from being at home more, grazing, eating things that we just didn't bother eating before because we were too busy. So I'll just give some quick tips. Later, I will go into more of an explanation as to why these are helpful. But right now, just quickly, things to get started. Number one, drink water before putting anything else in your mouth. What it does is it fills your stomach, you eat less. The other is that it counters a mechanism that sometimes our body sends the message that we're hungry when we're really thirsty. The other, water is just healthy to consume. Water or its byproducts are used in every reaction in our body, and so water helps. The other is to create an eating window. We've heard a lot about fasting, which is nothing new. We've always fast. Breakfast is called breakfast for a reason because it's breaking a fast. So creating an eating window so that you don't chew anything before or chew anything after that time. Fluids are fine as long as they're not sugary. They're not high in carbohydrates, but trying to stick within that eating window. If you start at 12 hours and it's easy for you, go to 11. If it's easy, go to 10. If it's easy, go to 9. Whenever it gets difficult, go back to the time that it is easiest. The other is to eat healthy fats and protein throughout the day. Anything you put in your mouth, anything you chew, should be a protein or a healthy fat. Limit the amount of carbohydrates throughout the day. Decide what you're going to have that's going to be carb-free. A snack, 2 snacks, 1 meal a day. But just make it in small increments so that you don't feel like you're just suddenly making this huge adjustment by just suddenly changing everything that you do. But just look at what you're eating. If there's a carbohydrate involved, reduce the amount of it. If it's difficult for you to reduce the amount of that carbohydrate, then increase the amount of healthy fat and protein to what you're eating. The other is keeping a food diary. When you write down what you've eaten, you become accountable for it. And it helps you recognize patterns so that you can help break some of those patterns that are harmful or that are countering some of the things that you'd like to happen. And so just writing down everything you put in your mouth, even if it's gum, if it's a liquid, whatever it is, write it down. And also it's helpful to put down what you're doing at the time and also how you're feeling at the time. It helps you create a visual of what your eating pattern is. So if you start noticing that you're eating because you're angry, or you're eating because you're happy, or if you're eating because you're watching television, or while you're driving in your car, it just helps you recognize where you need to pinpoint some of those changes because your pattern is recognized. And the other is avoid anything with sugar. You can mitigate some things that have sugar in them. However, if it's in liquid, it is absolutely impossible to counter the effects of sugar in things we drink. If you really seriously would like to lose weight, stop drinking anything that has sugar in it. There's very little that can be done to counter that. And your body loves it and makes fat right out of it. The other is if you're a little unsure of what the impact of what you're eating is, limit it to the size of the palm of your hand. If you are eating a carb and it's about this size, you can always cut it in half. If it's a protein, it's less necessary to do that, but it does help you prevent overeating if overeating is something that you're concerned about. So, again, these are just a few tips: water, eating window, healthy fats and protein, keeping a food diary, staying away from sugary drinks, and eat in moderation. If you're unsure of the amount, use your hand as a measure. Again, this is Dr. Catherine Toomer, Family Medicine and Community Health, founder of Health, Wellness, and Weight Loss Centers, where we help people, or I help people, lose weight and change their lives 1 pound at a time. All right, thanks.